Here's an uncomfortable question. How many current £100 million footballers could you actually call one of the best players in the world? Take a second. Really think about it. Because a few years ago, that question would have been easy. £100 million meant a guaranteed superstar. Today, it might just mean a decent 22-year-old with one good season and an agent who knows how to work a phone. Something has broken in football's transfer market. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what and why it's about to get worse. Let's start with the receipts. Chelsea paid over £100 million for Enzo Fernandez. Arsenal paid over £100 million for Declan Rice. And Man City paid around £100 million for Jack Grealish. None of these are bad players. But 10 years ago, a 9-figure fee was reserved for maybe 1 or 2 transfers a year worldwide. Now it's just a random Tuesday in the Premier League. So what's changed? You can trace a lot of this back to one moment. PSG paying €222 million for Neymar in 2017. At the time, that number seemed absurd, almost fictional. But here's what actually happens after a fee like that lands. It doesn't just set a record, it resets everyone's sense of normal. £80 million stops sounding crazy, then £100 million becomes the ongoing rate for players who aren't even in the conversation for the best player in the world. Anchoring is a hell of a drug. Here's where it gets genuinely strange. Clubs aren't even just overpaying for proven quality anymore. They're overpaying for hypotheticals. A 21-year-old has one breakout season and suddenly he's worth £80 million. Not for what he's done, but for what he might become. You're not just buying a footballer, you're buying a lottery ticket. Sometimes that ticket pays out a generational talent for a decade. Often it doesn't, but either way, some club just bets £80 million on a hunch. Here's the part nobody talks about. The price tag doesn't just cost the club money, but the player as well. The moment someone signs for £80 million, the expectations attached to that number are instant and unforgiving. 3 quiet games in and pundits are calling him a flop. 10 games without a goal and its worst transfer of the summer. For a 21-year-old adjusting to a new league, a new manager and a new country. He didn't set the price, the club did. But he's the one who has to live up to it. So where does this actually stop? We're already in a world where a £100 million transfer barely makes headlines. Does £100 million become the new normal in 5 years? Does someone finally beat Neymar's record? Would a Premier League club really pay £200 million for one player? Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't bet against it. Here's my honest read. Transfer fees have almost stopped measuring how good a player is. But what they actually measure now is age, potential, contract length, how desperate the selling club is for cash, and whether the buyer happens to have a Premier League badge in the email. Say it with an English accent on the phone and the price goes up £20 million. That's not exaggeration anymore. That's just how the market works. So maybe the real question isn't why are footballers so expensive? It's how much higher can this actually go? And if this summer's transfer window is any indication, then we haven't seen anything close to the ceiling yet. Which transfer do you think is the most overpriced right now? Drop it in the comments and I'll read the wildest one in the next video.